Meta's game-changing release. Llama 2. A coder's dream. Ever since AI took over, we've seen tools like Chat-GPT and BARD being one of the most famous ones. But then Meta came out with their own AI. Llama 2, and it took the whole world by storm. While there were concerns about safety and bias data, Mark Zuckerberg made this model totally free to prove that AI is harmless. Then, Meta came up with Code Llama. What exactly is Code Llama? To understand this further, Llama 2 was released back in July to make the lives easier for regular programmers, and what we all loved about it was that it was totally free. Some benchmark results came in and it turned out to be better than OpenAI's GPT 3.5, but lagged just a little bit when it was compared to the GPT-4. But with GPT-4, you have to pay a subscription fee, which is a bummer. Then OpenAI kicked things up a notch and released their new AI, the Code Llama, or Code Llama 2, on August 24th. This tool, like the original, is also 100% free. And what's better about this is that it's fine-tuned to do some things much more effectively, while Llama 2 is just a general-purpose model that can do a variety of other things. How is this different from the original Llama? When comparing Code Llama with Llama 2, there are many key differences apart from one being general purpose that can do many different things, and the other being specialized that stands out as a code-specialized LLM. Code Llama is extremely coder-friendly and made for tasks that involve coding only. Look at it this way. Your coding and some lines of code are too boring to write and extremely repetitive, so you just ask Llama 2 to do it for you. Thanks to its deep understanding of natural languages, just tell it to print "Hello World," and it will do that for you in an instant. This way, you can rid yourself of the boring tasks to focus on the things that truly challenge you while saving a whole lot of time. It's a win-win. Now with Code Llama, you can use it in a similar way. Let's say you're done with some code snippets but can't really seem to finish them. You can ask Code Llama for help, and it will do that for you. Then if you've written a piece of code all by yourself and it keeps giving you an error, but the thing is you've already got thousands of lines of code in front of you and just can't pinpoint where things went wrong. Just give the code to this AI tool and it will analyze the code and tell you exactly where you messed up. What we're about to tell you next might help a lot of programmers out there. Imagine you just got handed an unfinished project from another developer, and since everyone has a different coding style, you can't understand the code to make changes to it or complete the product. You can hand over the code to Code Llama and it will give you an explanation of the code and let you know what happens where, so you can continue from where the previous developer left. You can even use this to make documentation for your code. If you're looking to get some handy documentation for your code using Code Llama, here's what you have to do. First, give the AI your code. Once it has your code, it does its magic by taking a closer look at the code and then starts writing the relevant documentation for it. The documentation will describe all those functions, variables, and other bits of what the code actually does, so the next time someone happens to work on your code, they won't be scratching their heads, wondering what's going on thanks to Llamas's neat explanations. Have a code written in Java that you want to convert to Python code for your project. This new AI can do that too. Can Code Llama beat GPT-4? Earlier with Llama 2, we saw it beat GPT 3.5, but GPT-4 was a lot more powerful. So what we're interested in knowing is that can this new and improved specialized AI beat GPT-4 this time? Turns out that even with Code Llama being newly refined, it still has a lower benchmark score than GPT-4, and we see while Code Llama does have its plus points, it hasn't quite surpassed GPT-4's performance. Code Llama's 3 models. The first model is the Code Llama, which is the foundational component of Code Llama, having a parameter of 7 billion and is trained using a dataset that consists of both code and natural language related to code. This model is highly versatile and can be used for a wide range of code-related tasks that were mentioned before, like code completion and explanation. There's the Code Llama, Python, a variant of Code Llama which is tailored specifically for the Python programming language. With 13 billion parameters, it's trained on a dataset full of Python code and related natural language explanations. This model retains the capabilities of the standard Code Llama model, which allows it to shine in tasks that involve Python, and this model is optimized for generating, completing, and enhancing Python code. The third model we have is the Code Llama, Instruct. This model is fine-tuned to understand and interpret natural language instructions, And with 7 billion parameters, it's trained on a dataset that has both code and human instructions framed in natural language. In simple terms, this goes beyond the conventional coding tasks because it is capable of generating code based on natural language instructions. It can take a prompt like asking it to write a function for you to take in a few numbers and give back the calculated result like adding or subtracting these numbers. Parameter size code Llama comes in 3 parameter sizes known as 7B, 13B, and 34B parameters. These numbers are important when we talk about the sheer size and complexity of the product. It's more like the size of how much data code Llama uses to understand and process information. Just like having more tools can help you tackle more complicated tasks, having more parameters usually means that the model can handle more complex things when it comes to coding. The training data. To get code Llama up to speed, it is trained on a massive data set filled with 500 billion code-related tokens. These tokens are like puzzle pieces that the model puts together to understand code and text. This dataset is filled with different programming languages code and even descriptions of code written in plain English, giving the AI a huge library of coding examples and explanations to learn from. Code Llama has a competitor. OpenAI announced Codex back in 2021, which was a game changer for developers. So now we have Code Llama and Codex, and both of these AI tools are claiming to be the best at what they do. While Code Llama is a coding guru and can handle almost anything you throw at it, it has to be code-related, like fixing bugs and completing lines of code. Codex is more of a jack of all trades, trained on both text and code. While it may not be as good as Llama when it comes to coding as proven by the benchmark scores, it still gets you. When you're deciding between the two, there are some things to keep in mind here, like availability. Right now, since it's new and recently released, Code Llama is still in its beta stages and is rolled out to only a limited number of people. On the other hand, Codex is more accessible. As long as you have the OpenAI API key, you're good to go. Another main thing to look at when developing any kind of software is the cost. Here's the thing. Code Llama will not cost you a thing and is free to use. Having a tool so powerful and totally free is mind-blowing. Codex, however, is a bit different. Codex does come with a fee, so when you think about using that for your projects, you would have to consider the budget when you're working with it. Next is privacy, which can be both a good thing and a bad thing. Code Llama is an open source tool, which means it's a collaborative effort where people can jump in and help out with your code to make it even better or help out with some bugs, but the drawback will be security concerns and lack of control over the project and will make licensing harder. Codex, on the other hand, is a proprietary project by OpenAI, meaning they're in control of its development and it's not open to public contributions. What do you think about Code Llama? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed today's video, then make sure to leave us a thumbs up and do not forget to subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon to be always updated with the most exciting content as soon as it's uploaded. Thanks for watching. See you again soon in another video.